In today's reading, we are going to be looking at what sort of urgent messages Spirit has for you regarding what is ahead. So if you are interested in listening to these important messages, then definitely stay tuned. And we have 3 piles to choose from today, which are all represented by a card. For pile number 1, we have this lantern. For pile number 2, we have this art project. And for pile number 3, we have the yin and yang. To choose the right reading for you, make sure to breathe in and out, get yourself into a very calm and grounded and present place. You can close your eyes if that helps as well, and just see whichever card calls out to you or how any specific pile makes you feel, whether there are any sensations that crop up in your body. Just try and feel through what really speaks to you and go off of that. But as I always say, this is a general reading, so please always use your discernment as well as you are listening to these general messages. And just be aware that not everything may resonate for you. But having said that, if you are ready, you can go into the description box and click on the timestamp that you need. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. So you chose this lantern card, and I'm just going to keep it somewhere over here because let's first get some oracle cards out, which are going to paint us a little bit of a picture regarding what is going on with you right now, what sort of circumstances are you in and dealing with. So hopefully as you are listening to these messages, it is going to be very easy for you to decipher whether you are watching the right pile or not. Okay, pile number 1, I'm getting a story of conformity in these cards. And what I mean by that is that it feels like you are trying to find your own place, find where it is that you truly belong, because it feels like you are being pushed, or you feel like you are being pushed to follow some sort of conventional norms, trends, steps, and it's almost like you can feel that you are different, that it is not maybe the best fit for you, but it feels like there is a lot of pressure around you, and it is almost like somewhat challenging for you to keep being your true self or to stay in your integrity. Well, let's start with the lantern card first, because that's the card that you were drawn to for this pile, right? And so clearly there is some sort of deeper meaning or searching for a deeper purpose, trying to find illumination and make sense of things, trying to dig deep around darkness and the unknown, the uncertainty of, you know, all of the different possibilities that you could be doing. But I also feel like this is about you trying to make sense of how you feel and navigate through all of these different emotions that could be cropping up. They could be quite like loud, and they could be quite intense, but they could also be somewhat difficult to make sense of. Like I'm looking at the background of this lantern, and it just feels almost like you know, it's really intense and the colors are so vibrant, but it also feels like this mesh of these different tones and colors. And so it's like you are trying to zone in on the purple there, like the true spiritual like key or the nugget, and really like, again, what aligns with your integrity, what aligns with your true values. And it could be somewhat difficult to do that. Now, starting off with the first card here, this is really what is making me think of this like conformity. It's almost like you feel as though you are being pushed into a conveyor belt, or, you know, like everything has to follow the same plan, and everyone has to follow the same steps. And it's like you're trying to sort of understand whether that is really truly what your dreams are about as well, like following those steps, and you're trying to determine whether those things would truly make you happy too. And it could be something that you sort of already find yourself in. So it could be like that you are currently working in a certain position where you have been putting a lot of time and effort into what it is that you are doing. And maybe you are just now sort of reaching this point where you are thinking about, like, is it really what I want to do? Is this really where I want to keep investing myself? And is it really for me? Or is there maybe something else out there that I could learn, that I could grow in, that I could develop in? And yeah, it just feels like, like someone is trying to mold you into something that they envision for yourself. But there is something about you feeling like uncertain about that. Or, even if this is not like I gave you a work example, but this could even be like a relationship situation too, where maybe your partner is wanting to, elevate things or take things up a notch, or maybe they want to follow the conventional steps of, settling down and getting married and buying a house together and having kids and all of that. And maybe that's not entirely what you feel comfortable doing or what you feel that you want to do. And so you're sort of questioning whether these things are truly in alignment with what it is that you want. And I'm also looking at this weird image of a lighthouse in the city center. And so it does feel like you have a bit of a sense of like the walls sort of closing in on you, or like the pressure is so big and it feels like it's mounting, and it's difficult to see the light. It's difficult to, again, like make sense of what your true purpose is, and to determine for yourself whether you are truly living in your purpose. Because it feels like with this lighthouse, obviously it doesn't really belong in the center of the city, or and it's not really the right environment for it. And I feel like there is so much like different energy around you that you don't maybe necessarily vibe with. Again, like if we just take the work example, right? You could do just fine where you are, and you could have okay relationships with your coworkers, and you could be very good at what you do. You could be very good at your job, and you may even get like praise and acknowledgement and recognition. But also it feels like there are moments where, especially right now, those moments could be very much highlighted for you, where you feel like out of place, where you feel like you are there and you are doing what is required of you, but in your heart of hearts, you feel like it's like there is something else that is meant for you. And so we get to this last card, right? And it's like, and again, this is the same sort of message of like you may be feeling a bit like the odd one out, or sort of trying to envision, trying to make sense of what it would truly be like. Maybe even going through all of these different scenarios in your head and trying to envision what your life path would be if you chose any one of those visions, right? If you just sort of play out how that path would potentially work out for you. But it definitely feels like there is a mismatch of energies here, pile number one. That is the main point here, the biggest sort of issue that I feel that you are dealing with. And not trying to, or I should say, trying not to lose yourself in the middle of all of these different conforming energies, and also at the same time trying to envision or make sense of what that more aligned path for you would be. And maybe even, again, questioning some alliances, questioning some relationships, questioning some values, or some contracts maybe even. And doing a bit of a deep dive or a soul search, really trying to figure out, like, what would your dream truly be? Like, yeah, those are the sort of keywords that, and the main like themes that I feel that are present in this reading. So if you could resonate with that, then definitely keep on watching, because we are going to dive into what sort of urgent messages Spirit has for you. And we're going to be doing this in a very sort of free-form type of way. There are no set places for the reading. There are no specific questions to answer. We're just going to shuffle the cards and see what comes up and sort of go off of that. So I'm going to put this over here. So let's see what Spirit wants you to know. What sort of urgent messages do you have for pile number 1 regarding their current situation, their reading? What do they need to know? Okay. We have Temperance and the 3 of Cups with the 6 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So we have Sagittarius energy coming through, and we have some water sign energy coming through here too, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And I'm just pointing out the signs so that if you resonate with those signs or you recognize them around you, then it can also be easier for you to identify with this reading. So I feel like Spirit is saying that it is very important right now to try and find a level of balance, especially with this Temperance energy here. It feels as though you may be too much in your head. You may be trying too hard to logically make sense of things and to conceptualize, to strategize, to visualize. You are doing all of these things where you are in your head and planning and trying to come up with solutions. But I feel like with this 3 of Cups here too, that the answer may actually come from like a very surprising place, especially with the 3 of Cups. There could be some friends, or even, you know, if you just go outside and you do something fun, or you do something fun with your friends, and then you just happen to walk past someone in the street who says something that like answers your question, or who says something very meaningful that you just happen to, you know, like eavesdrop on. Or that sounds a bit bad, but you know, you just happen to hear it, and it like has such a strong meaning to you, and it's almost like the universe is going to speak through very interesting channels and deliver some important messages to you. So I definitely feel that getting out of your body, finding a sense of balance, and especially getting out of your mind and into your body is what I wanted to say, and finding some sort of emotional nourishment, something that would maybe lessen the stress a bit, you know, something that would just take your mind off of these things, off of these stresses, and and just sort of allow yourself to relax a little bit. I feel like that is actually going to have very surprising results, and I also feel like you just really, really need it, because with this Temperance energy, it almost feels like you're sort of getting a bit strained here. That's what I'm feeling. Like your body is trying to recover and keep up with all of the demands, but it could be getting a bit difficult, especially because with the 3 of Cups, I feel like maybe you haven't really had too much time for socializing and just having fun and going out there and, you know, just getting together with friends or acquaintances or anything like that, and, you know, just allowing yourself to let loose a bit. And also with the 3 of Cups, there could be, especially with the 6 of Cups at the bottom of the deck here, there could be some like invitations that come up for you in the near future. So it could be like within the next week or a couple of weeks, where it may be a very significant get together, where you could also, you know, get some sort of cool ideas or refreshing news, maybe even about like certain positions opening up or something like that. They could just inspire you. You could receive inspiration from your friends like that. And yeah, so let's see what else. What else does Spirit want you to know? What sort of urgent message does Spirit have for pile number 1? This one I feel like wanted to come out. Yeah, 3 of Wands. And the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, with the Ace of Pentacles, that's like definitely, I feel like there could be a certain invitation or some sort of proposition coming your way that could really, turn into something, that could really turn into something like exciting and real, something tangible, something fruitful. With this Three of Wands, it definitely feels like you are going to have some sort of opportunities or some sort of new paths or journeys opening up to you that could lead you to very exciting places that maybe you haven't even really considered before, but that would do you a lot of good. Also, with this Three of Wands, I feel like Spirit is really saying don't be afraid to explore and don't be afraid to sort of venture out of your comfort zone. Maybe even like, actually going on a hike or actually taking a trip somewhere, going on a road trip, if you can't really go too far out of your area or something like that. Or, if you have any vacations planned, possibly any holidays abroad, then it could be that that experience ends up being really significant somehow. Or again, it could like inspire you into thinking about some sort of new opportunity or some sort of new path that maybe you haven't really considered before. So we have like two number 3 cards here, which are all about expansion and which are all about broadening your horizons and developing. So it definitely feels like growth is in the cards for you, pile number 1. There is definitely growth in the cards for you. What else do you need, pile number 1, to hear right now? What else? Okay, we have the 8 of Cups and the 8 of Swords. So yeah, with the 8 of Cups, I feel like there could be a moment where these feelings of like not really fitting in, they could be getting a bit stronger for you. So just, be mindful of that and don't get freaked out by that. If anything, really, and the reason I'm saying don't get freaked out by it is because of this 8 of Swords at the bottom of the deck, because there could be a point that arises for you where you sort of may see your options as limited, or where you may see this like where some fears may crop up in you or some insecurities may crop up in you because because it could be somewhat like difficult to plan and see what the right path for you would be. As I said, it feels like you are trying to go about this whole question in like a very cerebral and a very mental way, using your brain, trying to strategize, trying to plan ahead and doing research possibly and all of that. But I have a feeling that like your answer is going to come from someplace else. And it seems to be something that is much more tied to like your different either like emotional connections or different experiences that you sort of have to go through in like an active bodily way, if that makes sense. So either you like again take a trip somewhere, either you get together with some friends, you go for some coffee, an acquaintance who you haven't really been in touch with in a while messages you and gives you some sort of opportunity or anything like that. I feel like you sort of there is this need to like feel through the different situations and options. And with this 8 of Cups, it just feels like there could be a time that is quite soon where you just feel like this situation that you are in, like it really doesn't work, or there is something really heavily missing. And even though, again, you might not know exactly what it is, it may still be a bit of a mystery to you. I feel like the feeling of being somewhat stifled by where you are, that could be like growing a bit bigger and like ultimately pushing you to start making some sort of changes. And I'm not saying that you are going to be doing anything like radical or drastic in the next few weeks or something like that, but it just feels like that feeling could be intensifying for you. And I mean, maybe some of you finally feel the need to like actually, go ahead and do it, actually go ahead and make some changes and sort of take the leap of faith. But more so than anything, I just feel like this 8 of Cups is saying that you are going to reach some sort of conclusion, or there is going to be a time for you where you just feel like this energetic mismatch is a bit too much. And again, it could be emphasized as a result of you going out a meeting with some people and they like spark something in you, or they inspire you somehow. Or again, if you go out like exploring new horizons, if you go take some sort of trip or something like that, that could ignite something in you as well. But it definitely feels like a meeting with friends, or getting yourself out of your usual sort of situation, your usual circumstances or surroundings, is what is going to sort of like push you over the edge, so to say, where it just feels like you need to do something, whatever that sort of shift or change is for you specifically. Oh, sorry, I just got more of a specific message with this Ace of Cups. It could also be that someone, like, let's take the work example. Let's say that someone that you work with could be deciding to leave, and that like increases the workload for you, or it makes the situation like even more stressful and like inhibiting, or constricting somehow. And so that's also something that like gives you even more of a strong indication that you need to do something. So even though this was just an example, I feel like with the Eight of Cups, this feeling, or this increasing of contrast that you feel, where it's like so evident that something needs to change, that could come as a result of someone else's actions here too, because of someone else, that decides to change or leave, or do something to alter the sort of the current state of things, or the current agreements. Sorry if the cards are not always focusing, it's a pain, but anyway. So can we get one last message for pile number 1, please? What sort of urgent message do they need to know regarding what is ahead for them? Okay, thank you. And the Seven of Swords with the Four of Cups. Yeah, I feel like with the Seven of Swords here too, like, first of all, this is just a bit of a suggestion to, be careful, and to, especially like with who you trust, or who you share your thoughts with whom you share your thoughts, I should say. So, especially if you are thinking about like altering something or making some bigger changes, it might be a good idea to sort of not be too open about what it is that you are thinking about. Sorry, it isn't wanting to focus, so hopefully you'll be able to see it okay from this distance too. But with the Seven of Swords, I just feel like there is someone who possibly doesn't have your best interests at heart, or someone who could be sort of, trying to work some things behind your back. So yeah, I just feel like, especially again, let's keep with the work scenario, right? So let's say that you are thinking of maybe changing jobs, or doing something different, and maybe like there is someone at work, a coworker that you believe to be your friend, but that maybe, like I don't know, they will try and sabotage the situation somehow, or undermine you somehow, or something like that. So I don't know, with the Seven of Swords, it just feels like this isn't like the best energy, or this isn't the best time to really share very openly what it is that you are thinking of, what it is that you are planning. Obviously, if we are talking about like people that you trust, right, with this Three of Cups, your friends and your loved ones, then that's a whole different thing. But with the Seven of Swords, it just feels like there could be some sort of a sneaky and somewhat dodgy energy around you. Especially because with the Four of Cups here too, someone could be trying to like take advantage of the information that you share with them, almost like use it to their own advantage or something like that. Or yeah, I just feel like there could be some sort of disappointment like that coming up. But yeah, just in general, I feel like if you if you keep your sort of thoughts to yourself, you don't really, like, again, you don't really share it very openly, or you don't talk about your ideas and all of these things that you have been feeling and thinking about openly with people that you don't maybe, that you are not the closest with, then I feel like you should be fine, you know, if you just sort of keep things under wraps for the time being and just sort of do your own thing, like behind the scenes. But let's close the reading out with an oracle card from Spirit, some advice or support. What sort of advice or support do they have for you regarding this reading? Okay, so we have give to the mind and it gives back. The mind, inspiration, mood, cycle. Yeah, so it's interesting that we're getting the mind card because, as I said, it definitely felt from the beginning of the reading that you are very much in your head and spending more so your energy on like cerebral activities. But I love that we also have this inspiration, mood, and cycle, because I do feel like inspiration is something that Spirit really wants you to keep an open mind to. Like there could be inspiration that strikes, and again, it could. I have a feeling that it could come from like a very unexpected place, and yeah, it feels like there is going to be a bit of a turnaround. And I mean, essentially, what this card is really about is, you know, looking after the sort of information that you consume and being mindful of like what you allow, what you feed into your brain, what you allow to take up space in your mind, because that ends up also, you know, manifesting in real life afterwards. Like the way that you see the world and your perception and your openness and the sense of possibility that you have, that is directly going to affect how you sort of go about experiencing the world too. And so it's like a cycle in that sense. So again, you know, giving your brain a bit of a breather, a bit of a pause, allowing yourself to just get into your body and get more into your senses, and, you know, try and give your mind a bit of a break from all the heavy lifting that it is doing. And at the bottom of the deck we have, I'm not underestimating my own magic anymore. Magic, power, beginnings, transformation. Yeah, I love this card for you because it definitely feels like everything that you are feeling, this whole sense that you are destined for something bigger, or that there is something else out there for you. Like, you know, even if it doesn't request or require you to, you know, quit your job or do something drastic like that, it could just find something different that nourishes you, like on the side, right? Like that you still keep on doing what it is that you're doing, but then you also make it your mission to find that something that would truly spark this sense of magic in you and that would allow you to fully express yourself, right? So yeah, that's it, pile number one. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I definitely enjoyed reading these cards for you, and I thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. And as always, I hope that this reading was insightful, useful, or at the very least entertaining, and I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number two. So you chose this art project card. And let's get into the pre-prepared cards that we have for you. And these are all going to tell us a bit about how your current circumstances are, or what sort of current situation you are dealing with. So as you are listening to these messages, hopefully it will be very easy for you to understand whether you are watching the right pile or not. So pile number two, the scenario that I'm getting here is one of having some sort of a like standoffish energy, or someone who is possibly trying to like control you into being a certain way. So yeah, it's almost like you are feeling a bit of a pressuring energy from outside of you when it comes to your personal expression and how you choose to express yourself and what you wish to do. Now, the card that you felt drawn towards was this art project card. And this is always a card of like creativity and again self-expression, you know, being artistic or just you know, dealing with those sorts of more creative energies. But for the first time ever, I think, I'm also seeing this card as a bit like messy, you know, like there are all these different art or these paint blobs, or, you know, it sort of like jumps out at me. And so I feel like even though you want to express yourself, but then it also seems to be a bit of a mess, or there seems to be something that is making it difficult for you to express yourself clearly. So that's like the first message that I was feeling here. And I love that we're getting a bit of a synchronicity, because with this first card here, there are also some paintbrushes that this little creature is carrying with them, and there are some paint. I think there are some paint. Yeah. Oh, there is a pencil and a tube of paint as well, and then they themselves are covered in like paint splotches as well. And then there are like these two weird creatures that are like lurking in the water and almost like looking at them, trying to possibly wanting to take them down or something like that. Anyway, they look a bit like menacing. And so again, it feels like you are sort of doing your own thing. Pile number two, it feels like you have a fairly firm understanding of how you wish to be and what you wish to do. And I feel like you are sort of fairly freely expressing that and like not being afraid to, again, stand for what you believe in and do things the way that you want to do things and live the way that you want to live life, like according to your own terms and things like that. But then, like, first of all, it seems like there are people around you who are not really who don't really agree with that, or who like look at you in a funny way, or who are judgmental about you, or judgmental about the way that you go about living life. And it's almost like they are wanting to tear you down, or like they are having some sort of a plan behind your back, or doing something to tarnish your reputation or something like that. I don't know, that's what's coming through. But then we also have this card here. And so this like very, very clearly makes me think of like intimidation, that there is someone who, like, maybe they are your boss, maybe they are your supervisor, maybe they are just someone who is older than you, or someone who has more authority than you, someone that you may see as like a bit of an intimidating force, even if they are not around you in like a work capacity, even if you are not like a subordinate to them. You know, this could even be like a personal relationship, someone around you that has that intense energy, then you may be somewhat like, maybe not necessarily like afraid, but just intimidated by them. You know, that maybe it's not the easiest for you to like stand up to them. Maybe whatever they say goes, or like they have a very firm law that they feel like they need to uphold, or something that they need to be the ones to set the rules. And so it just feels like you are trying to sort of do things in a way that wouldn't really upset them, or that wouldn't like push them like, you know, push them off the edge or something like that, or push their buttons too much. But I also feel like it's somewhat almost like difficult to do that, because first of all, it feels, especially with this card, that you are having your eye on some form of like growth or development, like you want to do something that would take you to the next level, or that would broaden your life somehow, or that would give you more like creative outlets, or something that would expand your life somehow. It feels like you are wanting to take more on, or yeah, just sort of grow in whatever capacity that is for you. Like, yeah, it feels like you're wanting to take on more responsibility and wanting to get more serious about something. But it may be a bit like daunting, especially when it comes to like this one specific person, or even just like the rules that you are usually subjected to or that you have been used to. And I feel like you could be having a bit of a difficult time or thinking about how to approach discussing this with whoever this person is, right? As I said, they could even be like a family member, they could be a parent, they could be like a guardian or a sibling, or even like your partner, who has like more of an authority position, or who has some sort of power or leverage over you. So again, just take it as it resonates. And yeah, I don't know. It feels like you are trying to figure out a way to approach the subject, or to tell them about how you wish to grow, or how you wish to do things differently, or start changing direction. And with this card, I don't know. It's kind of interesting because I feel like there is a lot of passion in you. Again, we are getting like these creative feelings, or something that you feel very called to do, like something that lights you up, and you really want to express yourself in whatever sort of way that is. Or maybe it's even like a whole new career path or whatever. But it just feels like there is something that you really, really want to do. But I also feel like whatever this topic is, it could spark a lot of like heated discussions or very strong emotions in this other person too, or in the people that are around you. And you may have you may be struggling to figure out a way in which to approach that subject, or even like figure out a way how you should go about doing that thing, or whether it's even possible for you to, you know, start doing that. Again, whatever that is for you, whatever you feel that is calling out to you, whatever that you feel that you want to do, like creatively, or express yourself, or just, get better at something. This could even be like wanting to start a podcast, or wanting to start taking art classes, wanting to start taking dance lessons, or open up a side business doing something that you do creatively, whatever this is. But it definitely feels like it is going to alter the way that you have been living up to this point. It's going to alter your or change something about your current living situation or current living circumstances. And it definitely seems to be affecting the people around you too. And there could be a lot of like jealousy, or a lot of like a lot of eyes on you that not too happy about what it is that you're doing, because it makes them feel less than, like there is just this, there is something envious about this energy that I feel around you, pile number 2. So anyway, if you could resonate with this, or at least parts of this, if you could recognize these scenarios, then definitely keep on watching, because we are going to do a bit of a free flow reading here, where we are just looking at whatever the urgent messages are, whatever spirit deems important for you to hear about what is coming up for you, what is ahead. So let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, we have the 4 of Wands, we have the Page of Swords, the 2 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. Okay, and the 7 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, with the 7 of Swords, I definitely feel like there are some eyes on you, as I said. There seems to be some sort of energies around you that are keeping a close eye on what it is that you are doing and what it is that you are planning. And, they may not have the purest of intentions. Most likely this feels like it is coming from like an envious place, but they could be trying to undermine you, or they could be trying to like do something to sabotage your plans, or to sabotage your success. So, it feels like it is just important for you not to let that get to you. I feel like with the 2 of Swords, like this is talking about some sort of a difficult decision here too. So you could be faced with like, I don't know, for some of you this could even be like a full-on ultimatum, Like if whoever is around you is really, really unhappy with whatever it is that you are wanting to do, or whatever it is that you are trying to do, then they could give you like an ultimatum, and it may put you in a bit of a hard place, or like where you feel like you don't really know what to do because you don't want to lose out on what you already have, but then you also feel such a strong pull towards what it is that you want to do, right? And so you could feel a bit torn. And you may need to, again, make some sort of a difficult decision and figure out which is more important to you, staying where you are and maintaining what it is that you have right now, or sort of going out there and exploring this thing that is calling out to you. I feel like with the Four of Wands and the Page of Swords, Spirit is saying that there is a really good chance of success here, especially with the Four of Wands. And I also feel like you could be drawing in people that would actually like support you in this, or that would help you along in achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. So like someone who believes in you and believes in what it is that you are trying to do. Or this could even just talk about, you know, the sort of the right people being drawn to whatever it is that you are doing as soon as you sort of launch that thing, or you know, start actually doing what it is that you want to do. So there is a lot of potential here with this Four of Wands for things to be successful and for you to find real fulfillment and happiness and like a sense of belonging. But with the Page of Swords, I feel like this requires you to be very clear about what it is that you want. And again, like with Page of Swords, this feels like Spirit is saying to get really, really clear on your priorities and get very clear on your values. Because with the Seven of Cups, it could feel that, you know, it could feel a bit like confusing, or you may still be in a bit of a wishy-washy place where you are not quite sure what the best option for you would be or what you should really go for. But with the Seven of Cups, there are clearly a lot of options around you, and there are clearly a lot of things that you could do and a lot of things that you could choose or decide on. But with Page of Swords, I feel like Spirit is emphasizing how important it is for you to get really, really clear and really focused on that one thing that you ultimately want to start, like either doing or improving upon, or, you know, developing yourself in. Because I also kind of get the sense that with the Page of Swords, that this thing is going to require a lot of dedication. And so it's like one of those things where you may need to like really fully commit to see the results. And so if there is some sort of like wavering, you know, with this Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords, if there is some sort of like going back and forth or wavering, then that could be something that like sabotages your success. So that could be something that also, you know, instills even more like confusion in you and like self-doubt. I also feel with the Page of Swords that this could be a certain conversation coming in, or where there may be a very serious conversation that needs to happen with this Page of Swords. It may not necessarily be you who is instigating it. With the Four of Wands, this could even be someone that is around you. Again, this could be like a family member or a co-worker or something like that. But with the Page of Swords, Spirit is saying that this difficult and possibly uncomfortable conversation definitely needs to happen, because it's important to get the record straight and to like be very clear on, again, like where your priorities lie, where your values lie. And I feel like, again, be mindful of how you make your decision and what you base your decision on, because this may be more of a specific message, but if you are prioritizing someone else's feelings or someone else's like happiness, or wanting to like please them somehow, whilst compromising your own sense of like truth or what you feel is the right thing for you, then I feel like you may end up regretting it afterwards, or there could be a point where like it almost comes back to haunt you or something like that. And again, this is just a more of a specific message, but I feel like someone out there needs to hear it. Okay, let's see if we can get a couple more cards Can we get a few more cards? Oh, thank you. We got one reversal. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like that is the person that is around you. And the Page of Cups. I kind of feel like with this King of Pentacles in reverse, that however delicately you approach the situation, I feel like this person is not going to like it like either way. With this King of Pentacles, I'm just going to show you the illustration, but with the King of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like this person is going to like not necessarily like react badly, but I just feel like they are not going to give you the support that you would really like to get from this person, or even like the understanding that you would like to get from this person, because we have the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. It feels like you are trying to go about things in a very like compassionate and understanding and gentle and soft way, but I feel like that it's not really going to do much for how this person sees this whole thing. Because with the King of Pentacles in reverse, they feel somewhat like, I have to say what I'm feeling, and obviously if you don't recognize this person around you and this is not your story, then this is not your story. But this King of Pentacles in reverse, which is a card of Taurus, by the way, or they could be any earth sign for that matter, so Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Let's see if it looks better that way. Hopefully it will zoom in and you'll be able to see it. But anyway, this person feels somewhat like selfish and rigid and uncompromising. They seem to be very stuck in what it is that they want and how they want things to be. And there isn't that much wiggle room for like compromises or stuff like that. They may even they may even use their authority or their wealth or their resources or status as like a way to control you, or a way to get what it is that they want, to manipulate the situation and manipulate other people to have things their way. So I have to be honest, I'm not really a fan of this King of Pentacles energy. And yeah, I just feel like with this Page of Cups, Spirit is saying that it is very important for you to sort of be in touch with what it is that you feel, and to sort of have more of like self-belief, because with this King of Pentacles in reverse, it feels like that support is just, it's not going to be there from this person. Let's see, can we get one more card, please? Can we get one more urgent message? What sort of urgent message do you have for pile number 2? Okay, thank you. Okay, wow, I love this. So we have the Queen of Pentacles now and the 10 of Cups. Okay, that is interesting. And we have the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So with the Queen of Pentacles, like as I said, it's funny that we're getting the Queen of Pentacles, because this is a counterpart energy to the King of Pentacles. So this King of Pentacles person could be like your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you live with. Even though this says King and this says Queen, I'm not really attaching gender to these cards. It's just one is coming through very like masculine and authoritative, and the other is coming through more like feminine and nurturing. So with this Queen of Pentacles, I feel like this is definitely talking about your energy. And it's, you know, Spirit is encouraging you to stay in your power and to really rely on yourself. As I said, it feels like there isn't support coming in from this person. And so you really need to sort of perk yourself up and find like belief and find confidence and assuredness from somewhere else. But with the Queen of Pentacles, it feels like you actually have that resourcefulness within you, and you have all of the necessary tools to like believe in yourself even when no one else believes in you. Like that kind of energy is definitely coming through. And also with the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like this, especially with the 10 of Cups, this feels like, again, there is a bit of a, I don't want to say like guarantee, but there is a very good indication that whatever it is that you are planning on doing, like if you put in the work with the Queen of Pentacles, right? Because this requires dedication, as I already said. With dedication, with effort, with work, and perseverance, this could lead you to the 10 of Cups, which is ultimate fulfillment. And again, like finding some people that truly vibe with you and that you really feel like are your soul family or your soul tribe, where you feel a sense of connection, where you feel a sense of being seen and being acknowledged and being appreciated for who you truly are. And just having this wholesome sense of like fulfillment, right? Like the Ten of Cups is the ultimate fulfillment. Having your dreams sort of realized. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. And so, as I said, like, this is really where this like self-love comes in, because I feel like you, with the Ace of Cups here, it's very important that you are your own biggest fan, your own biggest believer, and that you have faith in this dream that you have right now. That is just a dream, right? With the Ace of Cups, this is just something that like stirs you in some way. That is something that you feel like you want to express, but that is still like an abstract thought or an abstract thing, or even if you have begun in some way, it's still very much in its like initial stages. At least that's what's coming through from the cards here. And I also feel with both the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Cups that Spirit is saying that you have something of value to express. And so whatever this pull is, whatever this creativity, whatever this new project or branching out that you want to do is, it definitely seems to be calling out to you for a reason. And I feel like it's very important that you do something with it, that you actually make it happen with this Queen of Pentacles. Also, this Queen of Pentacles could be another person that comes in that offers you support in some way, or that ends up being very like important and crucial in the process of you achieving what it is that you want to achieve, gaining success. With this Ten of Cups, they could be like someone who supports you. So again, as you start like doing this thing, you could be drawing this Queen of Pentacles person in, who maybe has some more experience. They may have some knowledge that could be of use to you. Maybe they have done this whole journey before, and so they could act almost like a mentor in a way. But I as I said, initially I was feeling this Queen of Pentacles as your energy, so again, take it as it resonates. Oh, and this is a card of Capricorn, by the way. So if you have significant Capricorn placements in your birth chart, or if you resonate with other earth sign energy, again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, then this is another very good confirmation. But anyway, let's close the reading out with an oracle card, get some advice or supportive message from Spirit. Can we get advice for pile number 2, please? Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness, I love this message for you. Oh, I don't break that easy, not anymore. Instead, I use things as fuel. The alchemist, empowerment, pain, sorceress. Yeah, so definitely with this card coming out, and especially with the keyword pain, I feel like you, like if this is your reading, then obviously you know who this King of Pentacles person is. You probably like this whole scenario of being somewhat like repressed or being, you know, stood up against, or someone like wanting you to do things according to them or something like that, right? I feel like all of that is very familiar to you, and you most likely have gone through very painful experiences with like oppressive people in the past, and possibly you have gone through a lot of like painful experiences within relationships in general. But with this card, I feel like Spirit is reminding you that you have grown so much and you are not the same person that you were before. So even if you are still somewhat intimidated by this person around you who has some sort of power or leverage over you, I feel like with this empowerment and sorceress and the whole alchemist energy, you are actually so much more powerful than you realize, and it is within your power to change this situation around and to, you know, like react differently. We have, it's time to leave the old behind, rebirth, shedding the chrysalis, taking risks. Yeah, definitely. I love this message for you, pile number 2. I feel like this is such a perfect way to end the reading, and just perfect encouragement for you, again, to have more faith in yourself, to be your biggest backer, to be your biggest believer, and just trust that, you know, you have what it takes to succeed, and that the right people will find you when you start actually doing these things that you feel called to do. So Yeah, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me, pile number two. I love doing this reading for you, and I hope that you found it useful, insightful, or at the very least entertaining to watch. And as always, I hope to see you back on this channel very, very soon. Take care. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number three. So you chose this yin and yang symbol, and we are going to be looking at some pre-prepared cards for your reading first. So these cards are going to tell us a bit about what it is that you are currently dealing with, what sort of situation you are in. So as you are listening to these messages, hopefully it will be very easy for you to understand whether you are watching the right pile or not. So let's see. Okay, pile number three. I feel like in this pile there is a theme of like wanting to spice things up, wanting to make some sort of like little shifts and changes so that things wouldn't be quite like same old, because there is a heavy energy of being somewhat like swamped by just the mundane and the dull day-to-day existence, and looking for ways to bring back excitement, or looking for ways to bring back this sense of like joy of living again. So you chose this yin and yang card, which obviously talks about balance and duality and these like light and dark aspects of life. And so it definitely feels like you are trying to bring some aspects of your life more into balance, because clearly there is something that has been a bit too like one-sided, or a bit too swayed in one direction. Now, the first card here, this is what is really making me think of like something that has just been the way that it has been for quite some time. I mean, there is snow, there are these massive heaps of snow, and there are these very unhappy looking like creatures and this one person. And all of these characters, they just seem so fed up with everything, right? It just feels like they are so stuck, like they are not moving, and that they have been stuck for quite some time. I mean, you can't even see their feet anymore. They are so swamped and so like just so stuck in this snow. And even though they look quite like unbothered by it, it's not like they are suffering massively, but it just feels like so uninspiring and just so lifeless, right? And so I feel like that's a bit how you feel too, pile number three. It feels like there is an aspect of life, maybe even several aspects of life, or maybe even your life in general, where you feel like things are sort of meh, and things are sort of just, so boring, and nothing is really new and exciting anymore. And I feel like you really miss that, and you're sort of trying to find ways to bring that into being, because we have this like weird we have this weird character over here that is almost like conjuring a spirit out of their like whatever walking stick or whatever it is. And there is something like very steampunky about the whole setup of this card. And so it does feel like you are almost like trying to come up with something new, or come up with something innovative. Like you are tinkering with an aspect of your life, or again, maybe several aspects of your life. And it's like you're just wanting to bring that magic back in. But I also kind of feel like you are trying to do it in a bit of a safe way, where you wouldn't like fully throw everything to the wind and just walk out from something, or abandon something. It feels like, I'm going to sort of jump ahead here, it feels like you are trying to bring a level of comfort with you, or like you are trying to incorporate whatever it is that you already have, and sort of take that with you as you are exploring like what is out there, right? Like even with this card, it feels like there is an element of like safety or being held that is very prevalent here, of like wanting to be carried safely to this new destination. So it almost seems like you are experimenting, and you are thinking of broadening your horizons. You are thinking of like spicing things up, making some fun new adjustments to your life, again, in whatever like specific context that resonates for you. But at the same time, it feels like you are wanting to do it in as like safe of a way as possible. You don't really want to rock the boat, right? Like, which is kind of like the perfect phrase for this card. You are wanting things to sort of be stable and wanting things to be safe still, but then also be transported someplace new, right? And I love that this is even being like lifted up, as in you are wanting to reach some sort of new height. So you're wanting to, again, like do something that you haven't ever thought of doing before, do something that you haven't ever experienced before, and just sort of seeing what is out there. And I also love that we are getting like two images of these hands that are reaching out, or that are like, one of them is transporting this ship, which is obviously made of water, but then the other one is like made of smoke, and it's almost like reaching out into like towards us, right? Towards the viewer. So yeah, it just feels like you are reaching for something new, pile number 3. And by doing that, it feels like you are again trying to bring back some level of joy, some level of excitement, some level of newness, and yeah. So I don't know if you could resonate with this. This feels more of a very like straightforward message. I'm not really getting any like alternate scenarios or anything like that. This just feels very very straightforward. So if you could resonate with this story, then definitely keep on watching, because we're going to dive into some tarot cards next. And this is going to be like a very chill, very free flow type reading, where we don't have any set like card placements or any questions that we are specifically answering. We're just looking at any urgent messages that Spirit wants you to know regarding what is ahead for you. So let's see what Spirit wants you to know. What does Spirit want pile number 3 to know? What does pile number 3 need to know about what is ahead for them? This one I feel like wants to come out. So we have the 4 of Swords. Ooh, and we have Strength. Okay, so with the 4 of Swords, I instantly felt that Spirit wants you to have patience, and Spirit wants you to be mindful that this process is going to take some time, that things aren't going to turn around very quickly, and that, you know, your life is not going to take this like 180, and that you are instantly going to discover something that makes you really happy and really come alive. And it's not to like, you know, demotivate you or to dampen your spirit somehow or anything like that. I just feel like with the 4 of Swords, Spirit is just asking you to have patience, right? Because there could be this sense of like feeling so fed up and so tired that you just want this like this newness, or you want something to change like here and now. But I feel like it could be something that like sort of takes time, or something that takes building up to. With Strength here too at the bottom of the deck, it definitely feels like it is going to require you to stay strong and to stay true to your convictions, and to keep having faith that, you know, you are going to get there in the end. Like, you are going to reach your desired result, and you have what it takes, right? You are stronger than you think. You can go through any like challenges, any obstacles, any delays, anything like that. And you just have to believe in yourself. So even if things are not coming about quite as quickly as you would have liked them to, like let's just take a dating example, because that is the first thing that came to mind. Let's say that you have been like living your life and going to work and doing all of these things that you normally do, and then like you're just sort of fed up with, you know, being single. And so you decide that, okay, I really want to start like experimenting with dating around, or like putting myself out there again, or anything like that, right? And maybe it's like you have this hope that things are going to like progress quite quickly, or that you're going to meet some interesting people, and that, you know, your life is going to get a lot more social. But then maybe things don't really go that quickly, or maybe it takes some time, and maybe you don't really click with anyone for some time. Like, it could be a bit of a longer process. And so with the Four of Swords, it's just saying to not get like discouraged, right? To not lose faith and to not lose that enthusiasm if things are a bit more slow. And I also feel with the Four of Swords that, you know, Spirit is also saying to be mindful of like not exhausting yourself too quickly. So on the one hand, there is this message of needing patience and not losing faith if things don't progress too rapidly. But another thing is about like trying to again keep balance within yourself as well, and not requiring too much of yourself, or not asking too much of yourself from the get-go. Trying to again keep the balance, right? The balance is the main keyword here in this reading. So yeah, taking it a bit more easy on yourself, I feel like is a very important message here. Let's see what else. What else do you need pile number 3 to know? What sort of other urgent messages do you have for pile number 3 regarding what is ahead for them? Okay, we have the Page of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Yeah, I feel like with the Page of Wands, this is a very beautiful energy. Obviously, this is very enthusiastic, very optimistic, and just very hopeful as well. And I feel like with the Page of Wands, like Spirit is encouraging you to, you know, be bold and to be explorative and to, like to take some calculated risks and to, you know, to just play around like that, right? And sort of see what happens, see what catches your eye, what catches your interest. But I also feel like with the Page of Wands that it is very important to be in that like beginner mindset and to remind yourself that like, because you are starting something new, or because you are doing something that you don't necessarily have too much experience in, or at least maybe even if, like, again, let's take the dating example, if you haven't done something in a while, you're maybe a bit rusty in it, and it may take some like practice runs, it may take some like getting used to again, and to you know, it may require you to polish certain conversation skills or things like that maybe you haven't had to use in quite a while. And so don't get discouraged again, you know, if things require you to do things again, or if you need to sort of go through a bit of a trial and error type thing, right? If you go and you experience something and it doesn't quite turn out the way that you expected, especially with the Ten of Swords, there could be certain interactions or certain experiences that you run into that either like disappoint you or that bring you some sort of like uncomfortable, painful, triggering experiences, something that like reminds you something from the past, or something that makes you again feel a bit discouraged and feel like throwing in the towel. But I feel like again with the Page of Wands, like there is this encouragement to just remind yourself that, you know, it does take some trial and error, and it does take some just going through it and experiencing it. And even if you fall, even if you trip, even if you know, make some mistakes, or even if things don't go quite according to plan, with this Page of Wands, it's important not to lose that spark, and to just dust yourself off and keep going at it again. With the Page of Wands, there could also be some sort of conversation that you end up having with someone, or there could be some sort of a person of interest even. But because this is the Page of Wands, especially with the Ten of Swords, so this could be more of a specific message. So for some of you, this Page of Wands is representing a certain person that you end up like communicating with, or who ends up reaching out to you. And maybe there is quite a lot of like promise and excitement with this person. They may like ignite certain feelings in you that you haven't felt in a while. But with this Ten of Swords, it could be that this doesn't really go anywhere, or that it's just sort of this like fun, flirty encounter that just ends up like fizzling out, or that doesn't really end up leading to anything too like big or committed. But at the very least, it's something that like gets the ball rolling, or it's something that like inspires you in some way, I feel like, with this Page of Wands. So let's see. I feel like maybe that's also why this Four of Swords is here as like a message of not getting discouraged, right? That's the one that came through first. Can we get some more urgent messages for pile number 3 regarding what is ahead for them? Oh, thank you. Okay, we have the Lovers in reverse with the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, so I feel like with the Lovers jumping out in reverse, so I feel like that is another confirmation for those of you who maybe are like resonating with that dating scenario, or if you end up, you know, talking to someone new or flirting with someone, or maybe finding some sort of prospect with the Page of Wands, and that, you know, ends up being somewhat disappointing. With the Lovers in reverse, like it's just kind of a bit of a confirmation here that that could be the case. With the Lovers in reverse, I feel like Spirit is saying that your sort of commitment is going to be possibly somewhat tested, or you could feel like, like you're not quite sure. Like there could be some doubt that creeps in as you are, you know, trying to spice things up and make things a bit more interesting. There could be a point where you're starting to question whether that is truly the right thing to do, or whether maybe it's like it's not worth it, or maybe it's not for you, something like that. Because with the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here, like I feel like this is again just a bit of an encouragement for you to stay on task and to not lose sight of like the bigger picture, because the Page of Pentacles is very very focused and very dedicated on what it is that they want to achieve, right? Because, sorry, these cards don't really want to focus. Camera is just not working with me again. Okay, let's just try both of them. Maybe it works like this. There we go. So with the Page of Pentacles and the Lovers in reverse, it feels like Spirit is urging you to not lose faith, to not lose sight of it, because the Page of Pentacles does require, you know, going about this whole situation in a way that you know that you have to learn a few things, and you know that there are some possible places where you can like trip up, or where you can make mistakes, and you know, just knowing that that is like part of the process, you know, and not allowing that to deter you from moving ahead with it. So, you know, even especially if with the Lovers in reverse, if you encounter certain things where, you know, you don't really like how things are going, or you are feeling a bit disappointed, or you're feeling a bit discouraged or disheartened, then with the Page of Pentacles, this is a clear message of like going about it in a studious way, meaning that, you know, if you have that sort of attitude that you know, if something doesn't work, then you find out how you can do things better the next time, or what was it that maybe didn't go according to plan, or what you could have done better to avoid certain outcomes. This card just doesn't want to stay in place. It keeps wanting to like rotate. But even at the bottom of the deck behind the Page of Pentacles, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So clearly like this thing that you potentially need to like practice, or that you need to learn, or that you need to enhance your skills in, it could lead to something that is really like long-term, stable, tangible, and that could lead to true like fulfillment with this 10 of Pentacles. So I really love seeing that. But yeah, don't get discouraged. And another thing that I just want to say with the Lovers in reverse, I'm feeling that there could be something that you may have to like let go of, or that you may have to sacrifice for whatever this new thing is. So remember, we were talking about how you were trying to sort of take your old life with you just the way that it is, and trying to accommodate it with this new endeavor, or trying to fit everything together. But it could be something that you sort of need to make adjustments on, or there's some sort of commitments or some sort of attachments that you have that you may need to let go of as you are venturing into this new exciting thing or new way of living. Okay, let's see if we can get a couple more cards. That's just a few more last urgent messages. Okay, we have Strength that came out. So that was the underlying energy for the Four of Swords. So obviously that is a very important message. We also have the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like, again, like this feels like a bit of a confirmation here that you are going to reach a level of fulfillment or a level of celebration, like something to be grateful for, something to be proud of. And especially with strength, I feel like it is going to teach you a lot. Like this whole thing that you are thinking of doing, or this endeavor, even if this is just some sort of inkling that you have, and you may not have like a full-fledged idea of what it is that you want to accomplish in the end. It just seems like you are starting some sort of journey. And even though you may not know where it takes you, it just feels like you know that you want to shake things up, right? You know that you want to try something. And I feel like it is going to take you someplace quite like unexpected, or it's going to take you someplace where like this whole journey is just going to be a bit of a mind-blowing thing for you. That's at least what I feel like. So when you like look back on the journey after you have reached some sort of destination, it feels like, oh my God, this thing that I felt interested in, or this thing that I just wanted to try out, like that was such a significant point in my life. Or maybe even like a whole life-altering thing. Hopefully that made sense. But anyway, with the Four of Wands and this Strength card, I do feel like you are going to be so proud of yourself, and there is almost this like guarantee that you are going to feel like it was all worth it when you get there with this Four of Wands. Like there is some sort of celebration or milestone that you are moving towards, and yeah, I feel like with the Strength card, it's almost like it is elevating, this whole process is elevating you, or making you even stronger as an individual. So it is learning, you are learning a lot because of it, and it is developing you as a person a lot as well. But can we get one last card for pile number 3? One last urgent message for pile number 3 regarding what is ahead for them. Oh my goodness. I hope that caught on camera, the way that this card just like slid out. And oh wow, okay, yeah, this is definitely a love scenario for some of you out there. Definitely. We have the Two of Cups that came out, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Ten of Cups. So I feel like Spirit wants you to know that you are going to reach this level of like contentment and commitment, and whatever form of commitment you want, right? But the Two of Cups is just essentially talking about like this pure connection, this pure fulfillment, and being seen and being recognized by someone, and just feeling just this whole sense of contentment and fulfillment, and like you, it's almost like you find what it is that you are missing, or what feels lacking right now. Because with the Ten of Cups, like this is the ultimate wish fulfillment. So everything that you have been dreaming about and everything that you have been wanting, I feel like it's actually going to turn out even better than you imagined. So yeah, I also feel with the Two of Cups, it is very important for you to stay true to you, to stay true to your authentic self, and to not hide away from who you are and what is important to you, and just, allowing yourself to be seen with like warts and all. Yeah, but I definitely feel with this Two of Cups that there is going to be a certain connection, or a certain, like, even if this is not a relationship scenario, even though this feels very much like a relationship scenario, but even if it isn't, I feel like this Two of Cups is just saying that you are going to find this thing that fits you like a glove, right? It's just going to be this perfect fit, this perfect sense of like recognition, and feeling like this is somewhere that you truly belong. Because we're dealing with like Cups cards here too, it just feels like pure emotional fulfillment and satisfaction, and getting so much happiness from it, getting so much joy, right? Because I feel like right now, where you are at in life, it's like everything is working and everything is like, it's okay. I feel like you don't really have that much to complain about. And I feel like you realize that you are much more fortunate than maybe a lot of other people that you know. But that you just feel like something is missing, right? Like something is not quite there. And as I said, for some of you, it definitely feels like that is a relationship, and it seems to be something that again may take some time, but that will take you to ultimately where you want to go. But even if this isn't a relationship, it just seems like you are going to be put through some like tests and trials, and there could be some mishaps that you go through. But I feel like ultimately the reason why there were so many messages at the beginning of like holding on and staying on track and not losing sight of, you know, where you want to end up, and not feeling discouraged, because with the Two of Cups, there is clearly something that is so worthwhile and so emotionally satisfying that you know, it's just going to be worth it. It's going to make this whole thing worth it. Okay, but I want to close the reading out with a last oracle card message from Spirit. So any advice or support that they want to give you. Let's see if we can get advice or support. Oh, sorry, I didn't name the zodiac signs, and I did that for every other pile. So with the Lovers, we have Gemini here. With Strength, we have Leo. But we also have some more fire, some more air sign energy too. So basically we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And we also have some water sign energy, but I'm mainly feeling the earth and fire come through. So you may recognize that within yourself, or maybe you recognize that within someone else. And so that is another confirmation. But anyway, last oracle card as advice or support. Last oracle card as advice or support for pile number 3 regarding their reading. Oh, wow, you got 2. We have emotions, honoring the flow of all the emotions, alchemy, processing, sensitivity. And we have, you are so brave to keep on going the way you do, the Forbidden Forest, bravery, persistence, redemption. Yeah, again, this feels like a very straightforward sort of message. I feel like Spirit just keeps re-emphasizing the need to accept these different like ups and downs that you could be going through as a result of taking on this journey, but also like keeping at it, and not allowing yourself to stop the journey, or to let go of this notion of, you know, following through and actually getting to where it is that you ultimately want to go. So yeah, this feels very, very powerful, pile number 3. Bravery, persistence, and redemption. Yeah, it feels like it is, again, it is going to require, right, strength. It is going to require bravery, but you are going to, like, it's going to all pay off in the end. Stay open to the good and beautiful things. Magic, mushroom, miracles, fairy energy, opening up. Yeah, again, see, I feel like Spirit is just, you know, constantly giving you hope and throwing out these like little nuggets that that sort of make it evident that, you know, it is worth going down this path, and it is worth going on this exploration journey and just seeing whatever you end up discovering on it, right? Stay open to the good and beautiful things, because you just never know, and life is full of surprises. So yeah, wow. Pile number 3, what an awesome reading. I really love doing this for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it too. But thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me, and I hope that this was insightful, useful, or at the very least entertaining. And as always, I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. Take care. Bye-bye.